Creating a connection with the consumer. Today's consumers are less interested in purchasing products to meet their basic needs and more interested in engaging with brands whose values satisfy them emotionally. Consumers want to be entertained or engaged on an emotional level. They don't want to be spoken to, they want to be spoken with. If the designer is intent on delivering an effective brand experience, packaging can be the centerpiece of his or her efforts. Package designers have the opportunity to deliver the ultimate emotional experience to excite the senses and deliver anticipation of emotions such as contentment, pride, happiness, pleasure, trust, and excitement. In this package case study, these were designed by Moore and were inspired by Scandinavian designs of folk art. This design approach pays homage to handcrafted lace doilies. Lavish use of inks and textural representations on the box indicate the extravagance of the Nordic body oils within. The inner package combines a silkscreen glass bottle with an elegant wood cap. As a result, the consumers link the body oil with a pampered lifestyle and enhanced sense of self. Tell a story. Stories engage audiences by pulling them into a reality other than their own. A good story builds atmosphere, creates depth, and involves the reader. A story on a package is a stage in the consumer's imagination on which the product performs. A good story drives the consumer to seek out the next installment of his or her next product purchase. In this example, the illustrated characters on the wine bottles are inspired by a music style called Gut Bucket Blues. When the bottle is turned, the label tells the story of the character portrayed on the front. The acidic yellows, reds, and bruised purples evoke the music style. Set the right tone. A design that lacks marketing or communication purpose is doomed to fail. Consumers will walk past a product that doesn't express what's in it for them. Conversely, the package that is all business with no wit or imagination will bore consumers senseless and collect dust on the shelf. Design must engage consumers' emotions by filling their imagination with ideas, colors, shape, and an artful presentation. For a truly effective package design solution, a balance of practical and emotional forces must be achieved. Andres Caminita is a highly respected chef who produces unique, high-quality packaged products for the Globus grocery store chain. For this packaging approach, the designers chose to focus on the history, unique product development approach, and the architectural features of the castle where the chef prepares his products. The geometric shapes that form the storyline characters are reminiscent of old rug hooking, tapestries, and stained glass, but as a result of the whole white background, they deliver a stylized and contemporary feel. The logo is reminiscent of the logo on the facade of the castle. The stories on the back of each preserve bottle pique the curiosity of the reader and provide an imaginative backdrop for the tasting of the preserves. Create a connection through play. There's several methods to create an emotional connection with the consumer, so let's start with playful design. The effectiveness of a playful design becomes obvious when one sees the consumers play back. Play invites exploration and open-mindedness. As always, it's important to remember that the product's audience is who you're talking to. Some products are not meant for play, and not all consumers want to play, so really consider that audience. In this concept, it plays off the garage-based meaning of oil in all aspects of design, including the bottle shape, product name, and illustration. The package invites play as the user is required to squeeze the bottle to get the oil out. The illustrations showing through the back of the bottle are oil spill monsters. Since 1901, Hansgrohe has created impressively intelligent shower products with intuitive controls, maximum sustainability, and excellent design. In 2013, Hansgrohe presented their smartest shower head ever, and to highlight the intelligence of the Raindance Select 150 EcoSmart, Cole Reb designed its packaging, dressing the shower heads up as some of the most visionary thinkers of our time. These handy, playful flasks hold 4 points of espresso vodka drinks. The lovingly produced illustrations suggest realistic adventures for the monsters depicted on the flask and guarantees that the owner will refill the flask and use it again. Create a connection through metaphor and simile. Sometimes the best way to express an idea is to make a comparison. Two comparative techniques are the metaphor and the simile. A simile compares two unlike ideas, often using the word as or like. So, for example, one might use the illustration of cloud on a package to depict the softness of a brand of toilet paper. A metaphor expresses an idea by way of another unrelated idea. So, for example, a designer who used a pattern of falling cats and dogs on an umbrella would be using the metaphor to indicate the umbrella's well-engineered structure. This playful use of simile involves the consumer while imparting vital information. The nut is the villain as hero in this package design approach. The simile works as a relevant and irreverent comparison to convey the tastiness and desirability of the product. A metaphor is an effective way to suggest product quality. In the case of the Tesco flowers, the illustration of a professional chef's torso infers that the products are restaurant grade and that the culinary talent of those who use the products will be upgraded to that of a professional. The strong graphic icons are used as secondary visual elements to highlight content information and allow for easy recognition on the shelf. Create a connection through humor and wit. Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? That is not funny, but it'd be good for you if it was, because humor and laughter strengthen the immune system, boost energy, and diminish pain and reduce stress. Wit's a form of intellectual humor and tends to render subtler reactions than humor, but when the end user gets it, it's a home run. Humor, on the other hand, can produce thigh-slapping snorts of laughter. Humor and wit on packaging will engage the consumers, causing them to pause and take a closer look. Caution's urged, as humor can be tricky. Be sure to test your concepts on others before you commit to it, and especially others that are within your target audience. Wine's a conservative industry, and the idea of punk wine is somewhat incoherent. It makes no sense to be punk and bubbly, since bubbly, particularly champagne, is the most conservative of all wines in a most conservative industry. The 1970s and 80s graphics on these labels poke fun at snobby wine connoisseurs. Create a connection through exaggeration. Consumers become accustomed to design conventions through the architecture, art, fashion, design, and music of their time. When a design approach goes against those conventions, it can be very exciting. Color, size, shape, line, and proportion can be exaggerated, creating intriguing effects, break away from popular trends and styles, and elicit powerful emotions. Designers who break the design rules of their era produce packages that stand out from their competitors and deliver new ideas and feelings. Okay, in this case study, the CD design approach was influenced by the folksy but dark music of David Byrne and Brian Eno. The already exaggerated album title, Everything That Happens Will Happen Today, draws the listener into the tiny 3D diorama that comes with the CD. The exaggerated scale makes the viewer feel like a voyeur waiting for some impending event to unfold, and is almost tangible as the viewer takes note of the slightly disturbing clues in the image and diorama. The entire experience of the CD packaging is certain to arouse curiosity, which can only be satisfied by listening to the music. Create a connection through faux. Faux means fake or imitation in French, and when manufacturing faux objects or materials, an attempt is often made to create products that will resemble the imitated items as closely as possible. In some cases, faux is used to make an inexpensive object look much more expensive. Like eggs all should probably cost the same thing, but depending on how you package it, it might get more expensive. In this case study, the design for ice wine plays off the Naked Grape logo using a faux finish to heighten the ice word in the name. The logo has an icy sheen and is enhanced by the translucent box that appears to have frosted over. Connecting to your consumer might be the best way to get them to notice your product and pick up your product. Studies have shown that if you can get a person to pick up your product, they are more likely to buy it. Use the tactics we talked about today to connect with your ideal customer on an emotional level.